Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1486A, and today's date is January 31st, 2018, and the title of the episode is Everything is in Motion. The agenda has been set. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, I just wanted to start out to say that it really does look like there are certain individuals who are in power, not elected, who are trying to do many different things here in the United States. And these are not good things. I'm talking about bringing the economy down, crashing it to make people suffer. And we've been talking about how the economy was just nudged into a collapse type of scenario. And it doesn't mean that they're going to succeed. They have many plans, and they keep trying. And I'm talking about the cabal, the deep state, the central bankers. But we can see that they're making this effort, and they're making it known that this is what they're about to do. Now, we see different things happening in the world. We know there's a memo coming out. We understand that the economy is really not doing as well as the central bank is reporting, the corporate media is reporting, even what Trump is reporting. Again, he's playing a game. And the game is use their system, bring it down, prepare the economy for a transition, make it a soft landing. So there's not many people that are getting hurt. And it takes time to set all of this up because this was not set up for a soft landing. This was not set up to have the economy go into a transition easily. It was set up by the central bank, by the cabal, to hit rock bottom. They don't care how many people die. They don't care how many people suffer. They don't care how many people are wiped out. It makes no difference to them because they understand they will control, they will make money, they will have the power. So they don't care about that. And we can see right now from them making these different announcements, by looking around the world and seeing what is happening, we can see that they are definitely making their move. Now, of course, there is a behind-the-scenes war on cryptocurrency. They don't like cryptocurrency. They don't have control over the cryptocurrency market, and they would like this. And this is why they're demonizing it. Just like they demonize countries to make everyone believe that, ooh, Russia's a bad country, or North Korea is a bad country, and these leaders, they're crazy. Cryptocurrencies, these are only used by terrorists or, criminals and things like that. I mean, South Korea, there was news coming out of the corporate media that they were going to ban Bitcoin. Well, South Korea says, we're not going to ban Bitcoin. But what they are going to do is they're going to make everyone register their cryptocurrency with their real name, and you're going to have to do this through the banking system. Now, we can see that they try to go to the extreme, and now people accept, oh, okay, I have to buy my cryptocurrency in the bank, and I have to give you all this information. Thank God you didn't ban it. And this is how they make people believe that they actually had a choice, and they feel good about it. But there really was no choice. This is what they wanted all along. They wanted people to get used to buying cryptocurrencies in a bank and giving their full information. So it's not anonymous. I mean, think about it. Cash is anonymous. People use cash all the time. It doesn't have your name attached to it, doesn't have any information attached to it. And you can use that wherever you want. Cryptocurrency, why do you have to give your name? Why? They haven't taken away cash as of yet, and criminals use it. They've been using it for a very long time. Actually, most of them are in government. But we see the economy is falling apart. I mean, Germany right now, their retail sales, they fell unexpectedly. And I love when they use the word unexpectedly. And this unexpected fall came in December. The best time of the year for retail. And they were expecting it only to come down about 0.3%. It came down by 1.9%. Now, why were they expecting it to come down at all if this is supposed to be the best time of the year, where people go out shopping? And they keep telling us how great everything is. ADP is showing the biggest job gains in January, even though there's a tight labor market. And ADP has done it again in January, printing at 234,000 jobs, which is a gain in January when they expected about 185,000 jobs. The bulk of the gains were in services. It wasn't in manufacturing. Growth in manufacturing is starting to slow. Since Trump's election, ADP's print has been systematically higher than the BLS data, which is very interesting. We see right now this might be a huge warning. GE, and this is coming from Deutsche Bank, they're saying that GE might be kicked out of the Dow. Now we need to remember, GE is one of the original industrial founding members, which has been in the index since 1907. General Electric has been an original component of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was invented by Charles Dow in 1896 for over 110 years. I mean, it may not be there for long. However, in a note from Deutsche Bank's John Inch, the analyst writes that he believes the chances that GE could be removed from the Dow are increasing as GE continues to face substantial challenges, including earnings, cash pressure, tough global power generation markets, aggressive downsizing, shrinking its portfolio, management shakeup, and SEC investigations. And this is how they're saying it could take place. The Dow is managed by a committee that meets twice a year in secret to review all the different component companies. The index is intended to represent the best large companies in the U.S. The index is not market cap weighted, but weighted by absolute share price. Consequently, apart from GE's other challenges, as the company's absolute share price has continued to drop, GE increasingly falls into the category of outlier and consequently a likely candidate for removal. We believe headline risk to be most significant risk factor if GE were to be dropped from the Dow. And this is a sure sign that something is about to happen. This might trigger something to happen in the markets. And this is an indicator letting us know that all of these companies, they're all propped up. None of them are doing as well as they are showing. A lot of them manipulate their data. Remember Enron? Everyone thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. And then we found out the whole thing was completely fake. We see pending home sales year on year dropped by 1.8%. We see existing home sales, they drop, new home sales drop, and we can see all of these together, it's all dropping at the same exact time. Meanwhile, what we're seeing is that the national debt is going to be jumping by $617 billion in 5 months. As the Fed accelerates its QE unwind, which they're really not unwinding that much, everyone is trying to figure out how to twist the new tax cut to their advantage and save some money. The U.S. Treasury Department just announced how much new debt it will have to sell to the public through the second quarter to keep the government afloat. $617 billion. So, over the next 5 months, if all goes according to plan, the U.S. gross national debt of $20.5 trillion, which includes $14.8 trillion in publicly traded Treasury securities and $5.7 trillion in internally held debt, will surge to about $21.1 trillion. That's 3% jump in 5 months. Now, back in 2012, the gross national debt amounted to about 95% of GDP. Before the financial crisis, it was 63% of GDP. At the end of 2017, the gross national debt was 106% of GDP. This is not going to end well. While all this is happening, China right now, they are pushing their Belt and Road trading platform, where now they have about 70 countries that are linked into this in Europe, Africa, and Asia. And we can see that some of the countries include India, Pakistan, Russia, New Zealand, Poland. They have all joined the project, and together they make up at least a third of the world's GDP. And again, the United States at this time has not joined in. But I believe eventually what's going to happen as we go through this transition, the United States will have no choice but to join into the One Belt, One Road system. Now, it's very interesting as we can see the economy completely deteriorate right in front of our eyes. I mean, think about it. We know the numbers are manipulated. We know unemployment's manipulated. That hasn't changed. GDP completely manipulated. That hasn't changed. Very easy to manipulate all these numbers to make everyone believe everything is great. The stock market completely manipulated. The precious metals market completely manipulated. And what we're seeing is a manipulation in housing where they keep houses off the market to drive up the prices, and they create bubbles in about 20 different cities. And we see from everything that we've been looking at, all these different indicators, we show that the economy, the people's economy, is rapidly deteriorating very, very quickly. And there are certain individuals that are out there letting us know that something is headed our way. Greenspan right now, he's saying that we have a stock market bubble. Now, he's saying that he doesn't believe that the recession that's on its way is going to be the biggest problem. He's concerned about the longer-term problem of low economic growth and soaring entitlement growth, because as more and more people lose their jobs, more and more people get onto the system, and this is going to be a disaster in the long run. And yes, it's already a disaster. And he's saying that there are two bubbles. We have a stock market bubble and a bond market bubble. At the end of the day, the bond bubble will be the big issue. Now, we talked about the bond bubble. It is gigantic. And a lot of people have been talking about it. We said that once the rates hit around 2.65% or 2.7%, we're going to be in trouble. And we are there right now. Now, PIMCO, Scott Mather, CIO of U.S. Core Strategies and Managing Director at PIMCO, is saying, well, it's time to start betting the other way. And he's looking at, again, the bond market, the stock market, and looking at all this saying, yeah, it looks like it's time. He says the bond market is on the move. The economy is gaining steam and interest rates are rising. This week, the yield on the 10-year treasuries climbed to the highest level since the summer of 2014. Despite that, Wall Street doesn't seem to care much. The Dow Jones chases record after record, and investors take on more and more risk. It's time to start betting the other way. And what we're seeing with all these financial pundits is they're foreshadowing something that's going to happen in the economy. They're out there letting us know that the market is going to correct. When is it going to correct? We don't know. But what we do know is that when we take a look around the world, we take a look at what is happening, we can see there are many different forces at play. It's not just the economy. It has to do with many different factors. It has to do with the petrodollar in the Middle East and their plan to control the Middle East and to prop the petrodollar up, because that is the basis of the entire system. As we can see, well, there's problems in the Middle East. All their plans didn't go as planned. And right now, countries are looking to move away from the petrodollar. That's number one. That feeds back into the economy. We already know they're planning for a weaker dollar. We see the dollar is declining very, very rapidly, and they nudge it along by making an announcement. Now, again, the world heard this, and even though you cover it up later saying, no, we don't want a weaker dollar, it's still out there. And they can see the dollar declining. So countries look at this and say, whoa, hold on here. This is not a good thing. We understand there's been agreements between different central banks, different countries, saying that the United States wouldn't weaken the dollar. It was written and agreed upon. We also understand that there are other things happening within government. And all of this ties into the same exact thing. How do you distract the public? Well, you can do many different things. You can have events. You can crash the economy. I mean, think about it. if the economy and the stock market came out, maybe just a small correction, maybe it came down 10%, 20% or so, that would fill the airwaves for quite a while. I mean, if they bring it down even further, it would clear the airwaves for quite a while. And companies then would say, okay, hold on here. The market came down. Maybe it didn't go back up. Maybe it stayed at that level. They would start making the case of why they needed to lay off individuals. Just like they did back in 2008. And then companies made an announcement how they're downsizing, and the same thing could occur. That would be a huge distraction. Of course, they can have other events, but we can see all of this is tying into the same exact thing. Now, we know the system cannot continue on. It's built on lies, illusion, just like Enron, just like back in 2008 when they told us, the subprime securities were AAA, everything's contained in all this other stuff. All of it's fake. I mean, no one believes it's fake until it crashes, and then people start looking back going, oh yeah, look what they did. Then they start believing. But it's too late then. You already lost because you didn't believe in the first place that it was fake. When you believe after it crashes it's fake, what are you going to do? What are you going to go buy gold, buy cryptos? What are you going to stock up on food? It's going to be impossible. It's almost like the storm is over you, the hurricane hit, and you say, you know what? Maybe I should go out and get batteries in the 110 mile an hour winds. I know my electric went out. I should go to the store now. It's too late. You can't do it. And we can see right now, this is where we are headed. We are headed in this direction. We're headed in a time period where they're going to have some type of distraction. And it's going to include the economy, because it cannot be sustained. It's going to include other events. And it's all going to happen all at once. This is what they are planning right now. So get prepared for this transition. Get prepared for this huge collapse, because we're going to have one or the other, a soft landing or something so bad and so hard that people will not know what to do. There'll be riots in the street. People will be running to the markets. If we have the other scenario, it'll be a little bit easier. You'll still go through a transition, but both of these versions are being done by different groups. One by the Trump administration is the soft landing. The hard landing is by the central bankers, by the cabal. They don't care about the people. All they want is their system. They want control. They want profit. So we're headed in this direction. Get prepared. And we can see every single day we're getting closer and closer to this time period. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.